I should be live. Hello? Yeah, there we are. Sorry about that. I'm a bit late. I've elected to press a button. Sorry about that. I'll start all over again. Maybe you could hear me all the way. Could you? Could you hear me? I'm not sure. I'll do it again. I said that this webinar will be about microphones. But you heard it. I'm getting comments here. We can't see you, but did you hear me? I hope you did, because then we hear you loud and clear. That's good, because then I will continue with what I said before. Reflections from the hand, from the screens, from whatever is around the microphone will change the sound of the mic. My head, my mouth, even if I open the mouth, it will change the sound, the characteristics of the microphone. So in this webinar here, I will talk about the different placements of the hand if we hold the microphone here, 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 here. And I have some recorded sound examples of that, so you can hear the difference for yourself. All this is from an article that we have on our Mic Uni. dpamicrophones.com/micuni. There you see this article. I will put a link to it at the end of the webinar here, so you can link directly to the article if you want to revisit and maybe get some of the points that I'm making, repeat those. Anyway, the first and foremost placement is the placement you see here on this picture. That is the hand placement that has the least influence on the sound. If we place the microphone closer to the head, we get more artifacts, more ripples on the frequency curve. And in order to find out what ripples or what artifacts we have on the frequency curve, we have to have a reference mic. So we have one mic that has that is non-disturbed, as you can say. It means that it could be hanging in thin wires, so we have no reflections to that microphone. And then we place a hand in many different positions, 5 different positions, to hear what is the difference between the undisturbed microphone and the disturbed microphone. When we did this test, we did it with 3 subjects, myself included. And we did it both with right hand and left hand. So we could get a clear picture of what was going on. Is it a tendency, or is it just a coincidence? We spoke into the microphone for about a minute and a half, and then we averaged the frequencies over a minute or a minute and a half, depending on the type we were using. But anyway, when you look at the first position, the mic, the normal or the least influential position, that's about what is it? About 5 centimeters away from the microphone head. It creates only a minimal of deviation from the normal response. There are some ripples around 3 kilohertz, but these are so small they are hardly audible. So this goes really well with non-colored sound. You should be able to hear it if I press this.
While language can be something that groups of people have in common, the sound and character of the voice is unique from person to person.
I hope you heard that. Someone is saying, can you check your setting? I hope I did. I hope that was what I just did. I hope this works. Anyway, let me know otherwise. Next position, a little closer to the grill, the top of the handle, just beneath the head. It gives some ripples. It has some higher amplitudes, meaning that the ripples are louder, but it's still not so audible. It might be audible to a certain degree. But again, depending on the hand size, and you see on these graphs, I hope you can see it. They are very small, and the dotted lines can be hard to see. But that is the 6 different measurements. We have subject number 1 left, subject number 1 right, 2 left, 2 right, and so on and so on. And the red one, the solid line, that's the average of all 6 measurements. So if you just look at the average, you would have a pretty good idea of what is going on here when you place the microphone here just beneath the head. It sounds like this.
While language can be something that groups of people have in common, the sound and character of the voice is unique from person to person.
Hope it shows what it sounded like. All good. Next position, position number 3. That's cupping. That's cupping with the index finger just flush with the front of the microphone, and that will create some resonances. In some of the incidents, it was plus 9 dB around 2K, sorry. And that is really audible. There's another resonance around 10K, a little resonance up there. In one of the cases, again, very loud. These resonances are audible, and they can cause feedback to the PA system if you're not really careful what you're doing. If you're playing really loud and you are on the edge of your maximum level, and the singer does this to the mic, then you can create a lot of feedback. That is really nasty. It sounds like this, not the feedback, but my voice in with the cupping.
While language can be something that groups of people have in common, the sound and character of the voice is unique from person to person.
That should be audible. Position number 4 is, well, it's very typical. The hand covers half of the grill, and the thumb is laid over the top. Here, the major resonances are found around 2K, but with a wide Q, a low Q, and again another ripple around 6K, which is audible, of course, compared to the clean sound, to the sound without any hand holding the mic. It sounds like this.
While language can be something that groups of people have in common, the sound and character of the voice is unique from person to person.
Position number 5, that is cupping a lot. We get a major resonant around 2K, and another one around 3 to 4K. But that's probably due to the cavity that we are creating in front of the microphone. And the cavity, and I'm going to show that in a close-up picture because I have the microphone right here. The cavity here, when you hold it like this, when you're cupping it like this, you're creating a cavity like a little room, like a little, like a little air container there, lack of better words. And when you go in and you sing into the microphone like this, it will create some really nasty frequency changes. Not saying that it's bad, not saying that it's unwanted, because sometimes the singer is using that as an effect. You can use it, you can have your clean, beautiful voice like this, and then you want the EQ that you see on the screen. and you are obtaining that by cupping the microphone. Or if you're a beatboxer, they are using that. I'm not a beatboxer. I won't even try. I've seen some really good ones. Ooh, they're good. And they sound fantastic in this microphone, by the way. But anyway, if you're a beatboxer and you're using that as an effect, that you see the frequency response that you're obtaining. Not getting, according to this study, not getting a lot of low end because of the cupping, but you're getting a lot of the nasal sounds, the high end, and the dip around the 8K or whatever it is you see here on the picture. So that's position number 5. It sounds like this.
While language can be something that groups of people have in common, the sound and character of the voice is unique from person to person.
Cool. So you see here all the examples. If you hold the microphone correctly, you won't have any ripples in the frequency response, or very little at least. But if you cup it, you get a lot. If you have a bigger hand, if your singer has a big hand, it might cause sharper resonances. And the wide open mouth in front of the resonances, or in front of the microphone, in front of the cavity, might also influence a lot on the sound. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments box below, and I will see if I can answer them. It would be super cool to have them as soon as possible, because from now till now, when you are listening to this, it's sometimes 40 seconds, 20 to 40 seconds delay. And if I have to answer them within this session, it would be nice to have them on the way. All right, going back to the clean sound, because in real life, because I talk so much, you can't really remember what the clean sound the clean sound sounded like. So I'll just give you a little example. Here is the clean sound again.
While language can be something that groups of people have in common, the sound and character of the voice is unique from person to person.
And here is the cupping sound again. Whoop, no, it's not.
While language can be something that groups of people have in common, the sound and character of the voice is unique from person to person.
So now that's the two extremes, the clean sound and the cupping sound. And this is an overview of all the different frequency responses. The link to the article is here. If you want to read the article again, or you want the EQs, the positions and the handheld positions as a poster, we also have a link to the PDF there that you can download as a poster. And of course, you can see other articles and other webinars on this. Bill asked, why not use pink noise as the audio sample for a more flat frequency starting point? Well, we could do that, and that's a very good point. It's easier to relate to if you have a voice to hear, to compare the different audio samples. If you just hear pink noise, it's harder to relate to what is that to do with in real life. But good point. You can do it yourself. Just put your hand in front of a speaker. Just have the speaker play some pink noise, and then, well, if I do it like this, I can have this speaker here play pink noise, and I could place the microphones around it and hold it in different positions. You could also argue that it might be a good idea to hear what is going on around the microphone when you hold it. So maybe pink noise, and then turn the microphone around in the pink noise field. That way you can hear pink noise from the rear, what that does to the microphone when you hold it like this, or pink noise from the front when you hold it like this. So a very good point. Someone is saying no video. I hope we have video. What's the effect of both hands on the mic? Twice the effect? Well, yeah, you could say that if you cup the microphone 100%, but I mean, if you are creating the cavity here, it doesn't really change much if I hold it with two hands. But if I hold it here, it is maybe twice the surface back to the rear of the microphone, which is also what I meant before with a large hand. Will create some sharper artifacts on the mic. Other questions. Can you review off-axis and proximity effect? Well, yes, I can. Well, the off-axis sound, I don't have it in this presentation here, but the off-axis sound basically means what does the microphone sound like from off the center axis. So this is on axis and this is off axis. Behind it, yeah, it's off axis. Everything aside from the right on axis is off axis. On this mic here is it's linear off-axis response, meaning that it has the same frequency response all around. The level is changing, of course, but the sound is not changing when I turn it around. Very little, at least. Which means that basically on this microphone here, you can sing in it from plus minus 60 degrees without having too much of a audio drop. But as soon as you go behind the microphone, you will have a dramatic drop, but it will still sound more or less natural, which means that the drum kit behind you or the mandolin on the wall behind you, it sounds like a mandolin, even though you have your side to it or your back to it. And then he says, can you, Joel says, can you review the proximity effect? Well, it's a different class. It's basically, what is proximity effect? Well, proximity effect is when the microphone is further away from the sound source, the low end drops. That's the result of the proximity effect. But how it is obtained, that's very requires a bit more time. It's about the relation between the higher frequencies and the lower frequencies, and the relationship with the audio level drop in general. All right. Other questions? Yeah, Stephen says, read this article about proximity effect. Yes, that's a very good idea on our website, on our Mic Uni. Why don't you use the mic you're presenting? Any particular? Does it work? Yeah, it works. I can plug it in. I have to change the input. Yes, but I can do that. That should be it now. You should be able to hear it. It may be a little lower. There we go. Now we have the same level as before. Now I'm talking into the 2028, and I could do this. I could do cupping, and you can hear what it sounds like. I just chose to use the recordings that we made that are available on the website, because then you can download everything and you can hear everything as they were when we did the graphs, the curves, all the graphics. So so everything is the same as it was. When I do this, it will be very loud. It will probably distort because we get a lot of level. I will change the level a bit, and then I'll do some cupping. Yeah, you. I hope that answered your question. Can I go back to my headset? I love my headset. It should sound different because it's an omni mic versus a directional mic. How does the off-axis affect sound on a condenser capsule? That's a very good question. Because basically it doesn't, there's no difference. Well, the difference is not whether it's a condenser or it's a dynamic microphone. It's about the acoustic, about the way that the microphone capsule is designed. A condenser capsule obviously reacts faster. It reacts in a different way than a dynamic capsule because the dynamic capsule has a coil, it has a magnet, it's a completely different construction, where a condenser microphone is a diaphragm that is not touching anything. It's glued to the edge of the housing of the mic, but it doesn't touch anything. So the characteristic of a dynamic microphone is much different from a condenser microphone. But the proximity effect and the off-axis response and the sensitivity and all the other elements of a good microphone, that has to do with the way that they are designed, the way that they are created, the microphones. Julian asked, change in polar pattern, feedbacking in live situation. Does it change the polar pattern? Yes, it does. Because when you add reflections, if you add some reflections by the hand, you create reflections to it, and thereby the microphone's pickup pattern. Whether the cupping creates the feedback because it changes the pickup pattern, or because it changes or there is a lot of reflections, I don't know. That has to be determined. But it does change the pickup pattern when you hold the microphone like this. When you hold it like this, it doesn't change it much. Just a little, but not much. Every time, as I said in the beginning, every time you put something around or in the proximity of the microphone, it will change the sound of the microphone, basically also the pickup pattern. If you put it flat on the floor, you will pick up sound from more angles than just in front of it. Maybe not so much, but anyway, that's a different topic. Chris Welker is asking, I already asked above, but curious if the bright caps on the 4060 labs is basically the result of a similar concept. Yes, that's a good, when you say bright caps, you probably mean what we call the high boost grill. I don't have it here. Well, yes, I do. Actually, I have it here. For everyone else, then Chris, we can look at these. Off topic, I know, Chris, it's off topic, but if we go here to my close-up camera, we'll see that I have a high boost grill. It's really hard to see. They're so small. They're only 5 mil diameter. We have a high boost and a soft boost. We have it's black and white. Here, that's maybe easier. That's a high boost and a soft boost. The high boost grill is doing exactly what the cupping is doing. It's changing the frequencies. It's making a boost in a certain frequency. And due to the diameter of this high boost grill and the length, basically the cavity that we are making in front of the capsule, that is controlling which frequency and the level of these that we're working with. Yeah. What are the questions? Sorry, I'm reading while I'm controlling. I'm mixing both the input and the output and the mic and everything by myself here. Any other questions to me as we are here anyway? Thank you very much then. I will stick around and answer questions on the chat for a little while. So if you have any more questions, please throw them in the chat, and I will see if I can pick it up on the way. So thank you for watching. I really hope you had a good time. I hate wasting my own time, but it's even worse when I'm wasting someone else's time. So I hope you had a good time and you got inspired to download the article on our Mic Uni. I'll post the QR code again in a second, and with the link. So please download, please go in there, sign up for our newsletter if you want to make sure that you get all the newest articles and the tips and tricks on microphone placements and what have you. I am doing this every day at 9:30 in the morning, different topics, 5:30 in the afternoon, Denmark time. Happy sound mixing. Thank you.